This is Investing in Georgia. My name is Alan. Today we are going to go over some of the things that I use to help find zoning information online. This will greatly help you uncover opportunities and to do some due diligence without having to spend a lot of time. I'm going to show you the quick information you can find. I am going to show you the Canton City and Cherokee County area, but it should be pretty applicable to you no matter where you are. I'll try to go over some of the things that might be different to you. So let's take a look. There we go. All right, so I just put in 110 Academy Street. That is the Canton City Hall. This is the Cherokee County information. Is Spatialist, Spatialest. I also find some of the similar information on QPublic. Trying to think of what other ones you might find. Go to your tax assessor. You're going to be able to find this information. You're going to be GIS. You can search your GIS information. So on here you got your parcel number, your account number. Obviously this is the Canton City owned. So zoning R3, which is kind of weird. We're going to go over zoning here a little bit more, but this is all the parts of the property. Like you got paving, you got a sprinkler system, they have an appraised value for all that type of stuff. And you'll find this for your houses as well. It's going to have like your driveway, your garage, etc., etc., etc. But let's keep looking. We are not done yet. Let's see what all I can find. So first thing, if you want to find information on your deeds, what stuff you own, and you can find information on specific properties as well. You can click on name. You can look in here. You can do all this fun searching. This is Cherokee County official records search. This is deeds.cherokeegeorgia.com. Yeah, landmark. I've seen it on a few other. That's where this is. It's a website that does that. That way you can look up your name. You can also, depending on the locality, they're going to have different access to this as well. You can also check the GSCCCA, which is the Georgia State Circuit Court Collective or something like that. You can get an individual account. You can find out all your information for your deeds, etc. online. And you can also do make it so no one can put a lien on your property on there. Well, you get notified if you do. That way, it's going to help you protect from deed fraud. So we got your sales on here, all that stuff. Let's go over to maps. This is where you're going to be. Oh, the maps doesn't work. For some reason, I don't know why that hasn't been working. You get a comper. I don't like to use comps. Well, of course, it's not going to be able to do it because this is the city-owned property. But you should know more about what you're looking at to do comp than to do a comper like that. Let's see what we got. Community. So we got property records, etc. Now this is some of the things that I like to, especially if you're looking for zoning, like if you find a piece of land. Let's put in satellite so we can see where the building is. All right, let's say you had a building here. And, well, you do have a building here. Say you had a building here. You wanted to see how far it was back from the street. You wanted to see what your setbacks were. You got measurement stuff right here. You can do your measure area. So you can measure the whole area. And you can do, let's just do a distance. So you needed that type of setback right there. I don't know why they have it where you have to go back and forth on that. So 67 feet has to go back and forth, but it's actually 32 or something like that. But a pretty cool tool. You can go over there. You got 208 feet. You can do your area. So you want to see how big this parking lot is, for example. And you can use obviously all this information. It says 0.42 acres. You can see how big the lots are, etc. That's a pretty cool thing. You got tax estimator. They don't really have, that's not really effective because on this one, because it's a city property. See what links. Yeah, your real estate search. Yeah, that's taking you back to Spatialist. Map layers. Look here, we can find floodplain. You can find your floodplain for the area. That's nice and handy. Fire precincts. Which one you're going to. You find your schools. It takes a minute to load. You have to find what permits. Let me take off these schools. Sometimes this can take a little while to populate. If you can find information on the permits done in this area, and I see it updates like that. And see, I'll even show you sometimes as well. Let me take that measurement off. Find census information on this area. Assessment. Sales around here. And area overview, etc. So as you can find a lot of information, and I'm not going to go into everything right now, but you can find where you can have the lines for the elevation. You can have your water lines and your sewer lines, etc. if they are running on there. I'm not going to go through all that stuff today. But just to give you an idea of what you can find, I don't know why they got that link not working well. I just want to give a quick overview of what each one of these, because I could get in the weeds and spend a whole lot of time on each one of these. Assessment, tax assessment. Yeah, so let's go ahead and go over to ArcGIS. That's another good one. This is going to be, we're getting into zoning. So this is all the zoning areas for the area right now. R20, Central Business District, etc. You can look in, see all this stuff. This is the city of Canton. There we go. So you can see what area, say, whatnot. You can click on, say, this property. Oh, I'm having computer problems right now. But you can find all kinds of layers. See, look at the layers. Yeah, this is the zoning layers, historical. Oh, let's look at the. Let's take off that zoning labeling. Historical, seeing future growth boundary. Where are you not showing it? There we go. See, that's the red line, the future growth boundary. That's right there. Existing land use. It's sometimes a little bit different, but not usually much. So you can put a lot of information on here and slow down your computer significantly. And so we got character, area, future, land use. This will give you an idea of what they have in mind for things. So if you want to do a zoning variance, you can that'll help your case for saying that you should be allowed to do this because the future land use area. And also if you happen to see a piece of land that you know is going to become more valuable, you can do that. And it can also be a sign. For example, a real life example, I was looking at, there's a place called Reed Street over here. I think that's it, right? Yep, this is Reed Street. Am I correct? No, that's another opportunity area. This is Reed Street. There's a bunch of duplex zoning down there. So I was looking at building something there. There are some duplexes on this road. But it's actually, in the future, it's going to be they want to make this area an employment center. So I saw some risk with doing that there. I don't know if they want to buy it out one day. And similar here, there's a property I was looking at that was back here, Old Doss. I thought I didn't want to have an opportunity there's going to be, they want them to do a lot of building, for example, right there. So that is good to know what they plan on doing in the future as well. Because as of right now, this is the future employment area, or that's the employment area. But in the future, they wanted to do this, which was going to be take away the charm of the area that I was looking at. But that's a quick example of that. Let's see what else we can find on here. I'm trying to give you real information. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into zoning. This is fun stuff. Each one of these is going to be different for your locality. This is going to be it's going to be a residential zoning, residential, commercial, industrial, etc. This is examples, R40. Generally speaking, the bigger the number is going to be the more square feet that are going to be required for the lot. So in this case, R40 is 40,000 square foot a lot, which is roughly an acre. Some places you'll see R4 or just 4,000 in this case, but a lot of times R4, depending on your locality, might mean a quarter of an acre, for example. In RA, residential attached 6, residential attached 8, manufactured home park, multiple family residential, and planned developments, which is going to be like your neighborhoods, etc. General commercial, let's keep going through this, and this is where they give you an example or the verbiage of what they say. So I'm just going to pick let's pick R10. So R10, single family residential, 10,000 square foot. This district is intended to provide high density single family detached residences, not including manufactured homes, which are connected to public water and public sewer systems. So that gives you an idea of what you got there. And obviously, so the variables can be, the public water, etc. So if you didn't have that, you might know that you might need to get it, or you might be able to help you get it if you say that's part for the city. You would want to know that in your due diligence process. All right. So this is this was a previous. Yes, they changed the zoning designation name. See, this was the R4. They made it RA8. R3. They made it R4. So this is the previous. This is the current. I'm not going to get into all that. Here they break it down into the neighborhoods as well, and where each one of these they call them character areas. For this, say like a suburban area, neighborhood living, historic, traditional, downtown, urban, mixed use, etc. And then give you some of the names of the neighborhoods, what zoning is allowed in each one of these. And that's what these little check marks are. Fun stuff. Overlay districts. I'm not going to get too much into that, but I'm not going to get into that. You can look that one up. Actually, I'll give you an example. Or this enterprise zone. So this is a specific area where they want to have promote development. And say the city of Canton shall exempt qualifying businesses as outlined in said act. Further to the you get 80% of property taxes shall be exempt for 2 years, 60% for the next year, etc. So this is going to be all the the perks you can have in there. Any advantages, determination of eligibility, how you can see if you can get that, permissible land uses generally. This is all illegalese stuff. You gotta know how to read through it. And this is if you have an R40, this will give you a quick look of single family detached or permitted, or I think it's permitted is the word, permissible. then there's conditional, then there's allowed upon master plan approval, and CM, which is allowed upon conditional use upon master plan approval, and blank is it's prohibited. So as you can see here, and just gives you an example of that. And how, depending on what type of pockets you have and how much you want to fight, how much opportunity is in that, will help you figure out whether this would be an opportunity. They go into details, family personal care homes, congregate personal care homes, short-term rental units. Oh yeah, this is a good thing to know. You have short-term rentals. You can do that in all these areas. Is that cool? So where can't you do it? Yeah, MHP, mobile home parks. Accommodation, all kinds of information here, don't we? Yeah, if you have archery or shooting ranges, they have all this stuff that's specifically broken down. Yeah, go check out Municode, municipal code. And if you call your zoning people, a lot of times, even if they're going to be very, let me try to think of, even if you live in Atlanta, I've worked a lot in Atlanta, the people there are not the most responsive, I would say, but there are good people there. They can be very helpful when you find them. It's going to be hard to find them, though. You are going to have to keep on banging your head against the wall to try to find some people there that will help you sometimes, but they are there, I promise you. So if you find people, they're going to be able to help you help you sort through all this information if it's not easily online. So let's take R10. So let's look at the things on here. So we got lot size, 10,000 square foot, which is 4.356, which is called the density, the dwelling units per acre, gross. So yeah, it's 43,560, I think, square feet in an acre. So 10,000 means you get 4.35 units per acre. Lot coverage, you're not going to really come across this for the most part, especially on that. You can only cover up 50% of the lot. And smaller lots and urban areas, that will become more of a thing. Frontage area, which is how much of the street frontage you need. You need 50 feet of street frontage, which is different than lot width. I will go over that here in a minute. But street frontage is, you actually need that on the street in front of you. So what they don't want is to have like a small, just a driveway going back. You actually have to have street frontage. And lot width is where the actual front of the house is. It has to be 75 feet wide. So you can have a 50-foot road frontage that goes out like that, like a pie. But what they don't want is just like a little narrow thing. But it has to be 75 feet wide at the front of the house. And the front setback is going to be, this is minimums. So you got 35 feet minimum if you are on a local street, and 65 for all other streets. And so depending on the zoning and your locality, they're going to have like arteries, etc., major roads, neighborhood roads, etc., and they're going to have them broken down more than those two. Side setbacks, you're going to take in 10 feet, so you have to be 10 feet from each side. So let's just do the minimum. So you have to have a 75-foot minimum lot width, and you have to have 10 foot on each side. So the max width you can go here, if you have a 75 foot here, is what, 55. Corner setback, this is if you're on a corner. And rear setback, so you can be 20 feet from the back part of it. The maximum height, height maximum stories and feet is 2.5 stories, 40 feet. And showing you can get more information. Sorry, my zoning. Can I go over? It's not letting me go over. But yeah, oh, here goes. Let's go to expand. Here we go. And you're gonna be able to find landscaping and buffers. You're also gonna have river buffers, etc. Parking and loading. If you have any requirements for that. Signs, tree protection, blah 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 blah. So there we go. You can find all this information, all the way up to industrial. But yeah, so look at all this stuff. You need to understand it to help you find opportunities quicker. I'll be back tomorrow with something else. And until then, this is Investing in Georgia. I'm Alan. Please leave a like, comment, share, or subscribe if you think I deserved it, if I was entertaining or anything like that. Have a good one.